Hello everyone, my name is Miss Megan, and today I have some really fun stories to share with you. The first book I have is called Never Never. This is about Captain James Hook before he became Captain Hook. It starts with James Hook as a boy, and he wants nothing more than to grow up. He wants to be a man. He thinks that's exactly what he wants to do, but he still is a boy and pretends to be a pirate sometimes. He eventually encounters another boy named Peter, and Peter takes him to Neverland. And James becomes a lost boy. That's right. That was one of my favorite parts. At the beginning of the book, we find out that Captain Hook was once a lost boy. He joins Peter and all the other lost boys on their fun adventures, and eventually James does something that none of the lost boys can do. He grows up. So James runs away from the lost boys onto a pirate ship, and when he arrives, they call him Captain. So we find out that Captain Hook was always meant to be the captain of the Spanish Main. He was meant to grow up. He was meant to be the captain. And this story really focuses on Captain Hook and James as he grows up, and it's separated into a couple of parts, and you get to see how he's a boy, and then as he grows up and becomes a captain, and then you really get to see how Peter Pan and Captain Hook come to clash, and you can see why Captain Hook always wants revenge on Peter Pan, because he wants nothing more than to go home, but he's stuck in Neverland. So this is a great story with a different look on a classic book. And in this story, Captain Hook is the hero and Peter Pan is the villain, which I really thought was a fun look at a classic. The next book I have for you is called Thanos, Titan Consumed. So Thanos is a character that's introduced by Marvel. So if you've seen some of the movies or read other books, you might know this character already. But this book is all about Thanos. So Thanos is a Titan. He was born into a world that was overpopulated, but he was born different. He looked a little different, and he was also very, very smart. So both of those things made him a bit of an outcast to his people. But he has some really crazy ideas on how he thinks he can save his world that get him banished. So this book is actually divided into 6 parts: time, reality, space, mind, soul, and power. So each of these parts really goes and describes one section of Thanos' life, and you get to be introduced to people who have influenced him, his friends, his family, his other enemies, and you get to see each in little slices of life why he is going across the galaxy, conquering worlds, and trying to create his vision of a perfect world. So I really liked how this book brought to get Thanos' character to life, and you get to see how his mind works and really all his different adventures. So this was a great story by Barry Lyga that goes into just understanding who Thanos is, and you get to decide, is Thanos the villain? Is what he trying to do noble? And why wouldn't people want to follow through with his plan? It would save a lot of people. But I'll leave that for you to read and make your own decisions. So we have Never Never by Brianna R. Shrum and Thanos Consumed by Barry Lyga. 2 great books that show the other side of a story that you may already know. We have Captain Hook and Thanos, 2 villains. But to them, are they villains? You get to hear their story, you get to know their lives and understand what makes them tick. So these would be a great read for anybody who wants to dig more into these characters. If you're a fan of Peter Pan and want to know more about Captain Hook, check out Never Never. If you're a fan of Marvel and just want to read more about adventures, or you want to just read more about Thanos, definitely check out Thanos Consumed by Barry Lyga. Both are great books. They're really well written and really fun to read. Thank you for joining me. Bye.